I am basically going to just read the genetic basis of 18q minus is what I have. I'm trying to go into more detail about what it actually is, and so you have to bear with me because I can't get my words out very well, and it's kind of difficult. I mean, I know what I want to say, but I just can't figure out how to say it. So I think the best way is to just read this stuff out, and I might do like a couple more videos about like showing my chromosomes or whatever, because it's really confusing and it's rare. I still don't know a whole lot about it either. My doctors, I have to say, I have this 18q minus, and they're like, what is that? And but I just want to get like info out there about it because it's so rare, and I don't know, I guess I could help maybe people who have 18q minus or differences or whatever, that they're not all alone, and they're just, I don't know. I'm just like gonna go into like to explain what this says, and it's basically the same things that I've read 1,000 times over again. But it gets into more detail about it, I guess, like the chromosomes and stuff. So you might have to bear with me and I guess if you have any questions or anything, just comment below. But I'm just gonna go ahead and talk about the genetic basis of it and stuff. So, it may sound like I'm reading, from whatever, but I basically am reading this off of a deal because, I can't even say that word. I have trouble, figuring out what I want to say and how to say it. I mean, I know what to say in my head, but I can't get it out when I speak. I don't know. It's hard. So, okay, here we go. In order to understand the genetic basis of distal 18q minus, which is what I have, it is important to know about the structure of chromosome 18. Every chromosome, including chromosome 18, has a characteristic black and white banding pattern and a construction called a centromere. In a characteristic location, somewhere along its length, these two things, the banding pattern and the centromere, make each chromosome recognizable under the microscope to a trained eye. Right here is the 18q minus. The bottom part of this is missing. So, that's like, the chromosomes. That's not my chromosomes, but it's, somebody else's chromosomes that, that they were testing or whatever. But, okay, so I'm not sure you've seen that, but, anyways, as you can see, the centrome of each, chromosome is not exactly in the middle of the chromosome. This makes the chromosome appear as if it has two distinct segments of unequal length. These segments are called arms. So they're like, they can be twisty and they can be like long and short and all that. Like and no nobody's this is why they say everyone's different. Like in their medical, in their whatever, everybody's different because no chromosome in everybody's body is exactly the same alike. Everybody's chromosomes are different, and that's what makes them different. Okay? Now 18q minus people, every one of those people, like me, their chromosomes can be longer or shorter or, they're just different. Everybody's different. And there's nothing wrong with that. Yeah. So these segments are called arms. The shorter arm, called P for petite, is also shown on top. The longer arm is called the Q arm, and is shown below the P arm. Okay. Alright, so, okay. So I have missing the long arm, I guess. A little piece of the long arm. Yeah. Sorry. Okay, so the longer arm is called the Q arm and is shown below the P arm. So the term distal means farther from the centrome, and the term proximal means closer to the centrome. 18q minus describes a missing piece of the long arm of the chromosome 18. Thus, distal 18q minus means that there is a missing piece of the long arm of the chromosome near the end of the chromosome. Often the tip of the chromosome itself is also deleted. And that's what I have. My long arm, the very, very tip of the very, very tip is missing. And it just goes to show you if something's messed up in your chromosomes or DNA, a lot can go wrong. I mean, a lot. And I will, tell you all about, what I've went through and what all I have and everything. It'll tell you about the eyes and the nose and all that, the face and facial differences and stuff, but, I'm just gonna keep reading and I'll, stop and tell you, somewhat about it, I guess. So, there are a few different ways we can describe locations along the chromosome. The first way is by chromosome bands. The bands on each chromosome arm divided up into regions. The regions are numbered starting at the centromere and progressing outward to the end of the chromosome arm. Below is a diagram that shows how the bands of chromosome 18 are labeled. Okay, so I don't know if you can see that. I'm not really sure what all that is, but basically we're working with down here, like the tip, the tip down there is missing, and I just F something up. Oh my gosh. I'm sorry. Okay, there. Okay. I clicked on it. Well, the tip of it is missing right here where the 23, that like right there is missing. The white part at the end, it's missing. I believe. But I could be wrong about that. Let's see if I have I'm looking at my papers, like my medical paper things. I'm missing 46XX DEL18 Q23 and 46XX minus 18 plus DER 18 T18, like 2 pieces of 18 and 23, Q23 is missing because I believe they have question marks. And I'm not sure about all that stuff. Like, I'm not very smart at this, you know. I just can tell you that I'm just trying to describe the best possible way I can. So, because not many people have heard of this before. But if you have questions, just comment or message me, or, you know, and I will get back to you. Okay, continuing on. Most distal deletions start at band 21, 22, or 23. And I believe my band deletions are 23, I believe. I could be wrong, but like I said, I don't know very much about, like, because what I want to do is I want to get researched on myself, like, to figure out exactly what is missing or what part. And obviously they won't be able to figure out where exactly it's missing from because it's all over the place, you know. These deletions usually go to the end of the chromosome. We can also describe chromosome locations by their genomic coordinates. A chromosome is actually made of an organic molecule called DNA. DNA is composed of a long strand of subunits known as bases. These bases are paired with a complementary base, and together they form a base pair. We can number the base pairs. The tip of the P arm is base pair 1, and the tip of the Q arm is 78,007,2448, but we could round it off and say 78 MB megabases. So far, we have talked about the structure of chromosomes. However, we have not discussed their contents. Just as the page numbers of the book are meaningless without the words written on them. So basically, if you have a book with no words on it, how can you read it, you know? So chromosomes, bands, and base pairs are important because they describe the location of the genes. So, like a number on the book, like page 5 goes between 4 and 6, or page 23 goes between 22 and 24, kind of like that. That's my best guess, I guess. So the genes are lined along the chromosome. Genes are the instructions for all the activities necessary for life. They give the body instructions for how to grow and develop. They are the words on the page. So basically what it's saying is if you have a missing piece or a certain piece of your chromosome is in another area that it's not supposed to be, it just messes up the whole process of, developing. Like, okay, so if you're reading a book, like a mystery book or something, and you're reading along and it says, they were on the outside of whatever, and then it like skips through like a couple pages and now you're on the other side of the world or something, like, or in another chapter, and it's kind of confusing, I know. But it's like, genes are, if they're in the right place, and sometimes, they're in the wrong place, and, there's nothing wrong with you, but, everything's fine and you don't have any problems or issues. That's most people, though. That's a lot of people. Most people have chromosome disorders or chromosome differences. Like, they're different, but like, you don't really know. I mean, you can only know if something's wrong if, like, say, you can't talk very well, or like your foot is like turned upside down when you're born or something like that, and then you get concerned and you're like, oh my gosh, I gotta figure this out. And that's how what my mom did anyways, is, I had my feet weird looking, when I came out, and so she went on this, I guess, hunt to figure out what was wrong with me, and she found out what was wrong with me. And ever since then, she's been helping me with my doctor stuff too, and figuring out all kinds of stuff, and I don't know. It's fine. Okay, so basically, if you don't have all your genes in the right spaces, it can cause problems. It can cause issues and just not, you don't develop very well, I guess. So, because moving on, this is talking, now it's going to talk about for mom and dad and everything. Because we have 2 copies of each chromosomes, one from mom and one from dad, we also have 2 copies of each gene. One on each chromosome copy. When a piece of a chromosome is deleted, as it is in distal 18qminus, the genes in that part of the chromosomes are missing as well. So, I'm guessing the genes that, and the one from mom and dad is missing as well. I don't know. I don't understand that. Sorry. Okay, so maybe it'll tell us more. For many genes, it does not matter if one of the copies of the genes is missing because there is a copy of the same gene on the non-deleted chromosome. So, okay, so as I was saying before, everybody has, like, different genes or whatever mixed up, or, I don't know, different genes, you know, problems. Not all severe, but, you know, there's always a copy, there's always another copy of your genes that has the missing piece, I guess. Okay, so however, we know that when certain genes are deleted, there can be medical and developmental effects. These are the genes that are linked with the various features of distal 18q minus. So, basically, if you're I don't want to say 18, but if you're missing a gene that acts for and develops for your like facials and, you know, makes helps to develop your heart and your lungs and your feet and your face and all that. If it's missing, oh boy, whew, let me tell you, I mean, I've had a lot like that, and that's what's kind of scary about it too, is, you know, sometimes, you know, you could be missing a piece and nothing changes with your body, you develop fine, you know, you get your milestones, you know, like eating and whatever, reaching for baby toys, talking, whatever. See, I didn't really start talking that much until, I don't know, kindergarten or first grade, and I went to preschool for 2 years, and I didn't even talk in preschool. I just basically screamed, I think, but that's fine. That's just what my mom says and my grandma. I just basically screamed. Okay, so, I guess we'll move on. Okay, so in most individuals, the deletion is the only chromosome change present. And that is true with me. I only, on my paper that I have, only the little piece of the chromosome is missing on the long arm. So, however, in some cases, the deletion results from a more complicated chromosome rearrangement. For example, some people have distal 18q- because of an unbalanced translocation. And that would be kind of like, I think if your parents had it, they would have an unbalanced translocation. But my mom and dad don't. So I'm a de novo person, which I don't really know what that means either, but I don't know. But I could look it up, I guess. It says on my paper that it was it happened when the sperm touches the egg or whatever, and then, yeah, that's what de novo means. So, okay, moving on. An unbalanced translocation may lead to 18q-, and the duplication of another piece of chromosome. In this case, predicting what type of problems a child might have is more difficult. People with an unbalanced translocation may have features of distal 18q- as well as features of chromosome duplication. You can learn, and that's just, whatever, to discuss about the unbalanced translocation or whatever. I might go into that, but maybe later. Okay. Diagnosis now. There are several different reasons that your family's physician might suspect that there is an underlying chromosome change present. Some of the more common reasons include child delayed in meeting developmental milestones, which for me, I'm guessing is that I couldn't talk. I couldn't form my words correctly. And that was because my jaw is messed up too, and like I had to get my tongue clipped. Let's see. This is what my facial stuff looked like. It says I have quite a few characteristics, including developmental delay, short stature, flat mid-face, hypotonia, I can never say that word, which is basically poor muscle tone, small head size, downturned mouth, foot abnormality, long tapering fingers, low set short appearing thumbs, high arched palate, which is up, I guess, maybe here, maybe, I don't know. Broad nasal bridge, which basically I get allergies and flu. Like I have, a lot of times people have like flu for like 4 to 7 days or a week or two. I have more than that. Like I can go outside for like, I don't know, a minute, or like go grocery shopping for like a minute or something, and then I come out and I get home and I'm sick. Okay? That's how my immune system is not that good at all. Abnormal placement of the second toe. I don't know about that. Impaired hearing, I've had lots of ear infections when I was a kid, and like I would have them like I don't even know how long. Like it was quite a bit, and that's why I lost my hearing, is because I've had a lot of ear infections, and I did a couple times puncture my eardrum. It popped, and it stick nothing in there. It just pops. Like my ears pop like crazy sometimes. And so one day it popped, and it was bad. Like, sometimes I can't hear for, like, days and days. It's crazy. And yes, let's see, impaired hearing, a history of but now resolved, an eye which turned out. Now, I don't know what that means. Like, it turned out that way or that way. I don't know. Wide set eyes, a narrow ear canal, a prominent chin, and droopy eyelids. And as you can tell, my eyelids are droopy. Like, I can't open them really. Like, I don't know. Children, let's see. Children with 18qminus may have illnesses involving their liver, kidney, or heart. Because of the fair number, let's see, who have problems with associated with the eyes. So I have eye problems too. Like right now, I've been having or recently I should say, I've been having aura migraines, and just my eyes are just jacked up. And okay, so and this was when I was like 2 years old or 4 or something like that. So I have poor muscle tone, and I've had problems with stumbling. Now, which is really interesting, is that individuals who have 18qminus have an IQ from 5 to 88, like, which some are extremely, extremely smart, and some are basically mentally retarded, which they thought I would be a mentally retarded person, and I was like, apparently God was like, nope, she ain't doing that, nope. Okay. So, basically, that's what my minor differences in facial features are. Or they can have a family history of chromosome condition. Like, they put in the letter to my mom, they said, if you're worried about having a kid, another child or worried that they may have 18qminus, that chance is very, very low, because my parents, neither one has the chromosome carriers. They're not carriers, so they don't have the genes or whatever from that, so it's not genetic for me. And which is really cool, is because I have a younger brother, and he's completely fine. He might be a little dumb sometimes, but he's completely fine. Like, he doesn't have any medical issues, except for asthma, but I think that's kind of normal. But, he doesn't have, like, any problems with his or whatever. I have an older brother who is completely fine. He's just a freaking dickhead. Sorry, that's another video, maybe. I don't know. And then, like, I have a half-brother and half-sister from my dad's side, and they're completely fine. So, I mean, it's just like one in a freaking thing, I guess. I don't know. I mean, I don't know. So anyways, although distal 18qminus can be detected prenatally, it is most frequently diagnosed during infancy or early childhood. There are 2 tests that are commonly performed to identify a deletion on 18q-. Both of these tests can be performed on a blood sample. Routine chromosome analysis. In this test, white blood cells are grown in the lab. The chromosomes are stained and examined under a microscope by a qualified cytogeneticist. I can't believe I said that right. I hope I said that right. This individual is trained to recognize extra and missing pieces of chromosomes, as well as other rearrangements, such as translocations and inversions. Results from a chromosome analysis will indicate the number of chromosomes, whether the person is male or female, and the general breakpoint of a deletion. The result of a person with 18q- might look like something like this. So, let's see. See the 46 XYDEL 18q 21.3? That's what that looks like. I don't know if you could see that. I might do another video where I'm facing all the pictures and stuff. But, yeah. Note that the location of chromosome break is indicated by the band number in the parentheses to the right, because each band can include 50 to 100 genes. This is not a very precise way of determining which genes are included in the deletion. For a more precise determination of the breakpoint, microarray analysis is required. And that's what I had, I think. That's what my mom told me. I don't know. Hey, and if not, I may have to go and be guinea pig for being researched on, which is totally fine with me, because if they can figure out, they can work on me and do blood tests and all kinds of stuff on me, I don't have a problem with that. I'm used to getting MRIs and blood taken, all the time. It's fine, no problem. And if I can help somebody in the process by doing that, then, if I can help them figure out how to do their work to maybe fix this at a younger child's age and then not have medical issues when they get older as an adult. See, that's what I'm dealing with right now, is I'm having medical issues as now that I'm adult, which is crazy. I'm like having heart problems, all kinds of problems. Crazy. Another video though. I'll talk about that, I guess. A microarray analysis is similar to a routine chromosome analysis in that it determines if there is extra or missing pieces of a chromosome. But with much greater resolution, it can detect chromosome deletions and duplications that are not visible under a microscope. Because this is a more expensive test, it is often not the first test ordered during a diagnostic workup. However, it is a much more precise test than a routine chromosome analysis. A microarray result includes the molecular breakpoint of the deletion. It can determine with great specificity which genes are included in the deletions. A microarray result of a person with 18q- might look something like this. And let's see if I can get that up. See that? ARR 18q 22.3 quarter parentheses 71 215307 minus 78077 0 time parentheses times 1. So, and this is confusing to me, okay? Like, I don't know. So in the example above, the 18q22.3 tells us that the breakpoint begins in the 22.3 band and extends to the end t minus of the q arm. The numbers within the parentheses indicate the base pairs that are involved. The times 1 tells us that only one copy of that section of the chromosome is present. Thus, we know that the deletion extends from base pair 7121537 to the end of the chromosome. So, I wonder though if both chromosome genes or whatever, both copies can have a deletion. I don't know. Although microarrays are very useful in determining exactly what is missing and what is extra, they cannot determine some important changes that only affects the arrangement or rearrangement of chromosomes. So they can't figure out like what causes it, maybe, or why it happens. That would be good to know why people get 18q minus or different, like, I mean, I'm not just talking about my syndrome or whatever, but like anybody else's, like why does people get autism, you know, or people have Down syndrome? Why does that happen? I mean, who knows? We still don't know why that happens. Why? I mean, they have different gene disorders too, you know, that are probably all jacked up and messed up and all that. So, okay, so microarrays cannot detect chromosome changes that do not involve a gain or loss of chromosome material. For example, they cannot detect balanced rearrangements, such as balanced translocations or inversions or ring chromosomes. Therefore, we typically suggest that individuals have both a chromosome analysis as well as microarray. I have trouble with my R's. It's fine. I had speech therapy for like, I don't know, till I was in 8th grade, 9th maybe, to fully describe the underlying genetic change. So every unrelated person with the deletion of 18q minus has a different breakpoint. Therefore, every person's deletion is unique, and consequently, the exact genes deleted are unique. This is why it is important to have a high-resolution diagnosis. Knowing which genes are included in the deletion can give families an idea of what to expect for their child. There are only a few genes on 18q that have an effect when one copy is missing. So for me is, you know, I didn't have thyroid issues until, let's see, which is called Graves' disease, and it's when, like, I would be laying in my grandma's bed at home or something, and my heart would go boom, 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 really, really fast and shake the bed, and I could have died that time too. And I had really high blood pressure at that point too. And I mean, I still have high blood pressure, but I was 15 when they diagnosed me with that, and I had to take an iodine pill to kill my thyroid, because if not, they would have had to go in, have a surgery, and cut right through there and cut my thyroid out. So basically, I have a thyroid, but it doesn't work, so I have to take a pill to make it work. Confusing enough? I think so. And right now I've been having like heart problems and stuff. And I think, well, I'm hoping that my last foot surgeries that I did, I don't even know how long ago now. But they had to take half of my side bone out and put some metal in my foot and then fuse some joints together and tendons and stuff like that. And I don't even know what all they did, but they did a lot. And hopefully my surgeon has fixed it, and hopefully I won't have to have any more surgeries, because if it doesn't work, then I might just have to I don't know, live with it, I guess. I mean, I've always lived with it, but I have like no pain, nerve damage in it now. And, you know, I'm dealing with my eye problems, and right now I have to go get my a 2 years, well, I guess